At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
So the news and rumors have been hot and heavy the last couple of days, and obviously one of the biggest ones is the new rumor that apparently it's not going to be Black Adam in Brian Michael Bendis' Justice League. They're changing his name. He's going to be Shazadam from now on. I don't even know if I can believe this one, but we will discuss it right here. And we also know that there will be a new Mr. Miracle series featuring the new Mr. Miracle that was introduced during Future State, is Shiloh Norman. Some interesting comments from the creator, Braden Easton, regarding what the series is going to be about. Is it time for a new Mr. Miracle? Have we really explored all the stories of the original Mr. Miracle? I think not, but I could be wrong on this. Obviously, here with me to talk about this is the curmudgeon of Critical himself. Haley, how you doing?
Oh, this is Shaziddy or Sashitty or whatever. Whatever it is.
Shaziddy?
Oh, dear gee. What the hell came up with this
Really weird timing. Obviously, we do know that the movie with The Rock has been in development for quite some time. It felt like synergy across the mediums was something that was important for Warner Media regarding the DC properties. I don't imagine the movie's going to be called Shazadam. It's still going to be Black Adam starring The Rock. I guess it's careful what you wish for because you just might get it. I think some people are excited. They're like, oh, Black Adam on the Justice League. What a cool idea. Well, the joke's on you because the creator's Brian Michael Bendis. This is the man that aged up John Kent. This is the man that changed the origin story for Krypton and the destruction of Krypton. This is the man that changed Tim Drake's moniker from Red Robin to Drake. And now apparently he's going to be changing Black Adam to Shazadam.
He's a moron. He's a complete, absolute idiot. Bendis is just a nightmare to comics. He shouldn't be doing anything in comics anymore. They need to kick him to the damn curb. This is pathetic. This is pathetic. Could you ever conceive that DC would go this far towards that direction?
No, this is ridiculous and stupid. I'm hoping that it's not true. I'll tell you this. My wife is, she knows about comic books, obviously, because she lives with me. We are married. We discuss what I do. And when I told her the change, she laughed for a good minute. And I was like, what's going on? She's like, oh, that's really stupid. I was like, okay, I thought so.
Yeah, it's not just what's so bad. Even people that it's a second language, they understand that. Oh, that's really stupid. That's really, yes, it's retarded. Thought 2020 was something else, guys. You ain't seen nothing yet. 2021 is going to be twice as shitty as the last year. I'll tell you.
It's certainly starting out interesting. We have had some good news. Obviously, Brian Michael Bendis was an interesting choice. We know that he's no longer DC exclusive. No longer getting those enormous page rates that he was getting when he was writing upwards of 6 and 7 comic books a month. Mm-hmm. It felt like a curious choice to give him Justice League after his enormous failures with the Wonder Comics line, his own Jinx World. I mean, that was a complete embarrassment. Obviously, his Superman, nothing to be proud of. The sales dropped like a rock. People have been upset with that for quite a long time. To give him another...
Don't forget Action. Don't forget what he did to Action Comics. The oldest comic in there is. The oldest comic there is.
He blew a Batman Superman led event series, Event Leviathan. Like, how do you do that one? How do you not sell Batman and Superman on an event series? So it was an interesting choice to give him another premier title. When you think about DC's the big titles, obviously it's Batman, it's like Detective Comics, you expect Superman, and Justice League is right up there with them. What the hell were DC Comics thinking? Obviously, you're a retailer. You have some insight in some of the inner workings of DC Comics. I assume they talk to you guys on why they're doing certain things, right?
No, on this they didn't. If they had, I would have probably laughed or cried. I don't know which one. I would have told them that they were being idiots, that this was stupid, but I didn't. I saw some of the early stuff, but I guess I wasn't paying too much attention. I certainly didn't notice a name change until I saw this announcement earlier. Like, what? What the hell? And I was scouring. No, this is the first time that they've mentioned an actual name change in the title, and I just no.
So do you believe it? You think that Brian Michael Bendis is changing the character name Black Adam to Shazadam?
I think that he's going to try. He's still so stupid and so arrogant. He believes he can try. I hope it's not something that The Rock came up with, or somebody like that came up with. Is like,
The Rock is
this
too
will
cool
be clever.
To do something that's stupid.
No, I hope not. I hope not. But
you don't think this is going to be like a mashup character where like the character is half Black Adam, half Shazam? You think it couldn't be that something that stupid? Like we're getting Cybeast and Teen Titans right now in Future State.
No. It's like the Marvel. What
Warps?
the hell is it? Warps? Oh, no. Well, they're repeating all of Marvel's mistakes, so I guess this wouldn't be too far off, would it? If they did
Not really.
like
it is weird what's happened to DC. They came out of the pandemic. Once the shutdown happened, once they got back going, they had all the momentum in the world. They had Joker War starting out. They had Dark Knight's Death Metal. They had Batman 3 Jokers. They had gotten new distribution online. It was like, whoa, DC's coming out hot and heavy. And I can't believe they lost so much momentum. Obviously, there have been some high notes here on Future State so far. Swamp Thing being one of them. I talked about it here on the channel a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
But by far, it's mostly been meh and bad.
The comic book media has lapped it up like it's cream and telling them how wonderful and how awesome it is. And they don't listen to the salespeople. They don't listen to the retailers. They don't listen to the customers. They only listen to the idiots in the comic book media. So, if going by what I've read in the comic book media about Future State, then oh God, DC's in trouble because they're spending their last couple bullets that they have left, shooting at this. And I was just trying to think where this would come from. Shazadam. It's like, maybe something happens to the whole Marvel family and he gets all of the Shazam power. Maybe he gets all of it, and it just kind of merges it just merges the whole thing into him, and he becomes Shazadam. And it's just like a one-off kind of, okay, just that, fine. Okay, fine. It's cutesy bullshit, but that I would excuse. If it was something like that, okay, I could get behind it. But with a grimace and a kind of, but maybe if something like that happened, sure, okay, fine. But otherwise, this is just stupid.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's just a bad rumor and it's not true, because it is one of all the things that Brian Michael Bendis has changed with DC Comics, this has got to be the dumbest. And you got to think about the reveal of Leviathan, like who the character ended up being.
Yeah.
And it ended up being one of the Manhunters. You're like, wow, I can't imagine anything being less interesting or more of a bleh than that. Shazadam would absolutely eclipse that.
Yeah, that'd be like the hair in the back of your throat kind of thing. It's kind of, ugh. We can hope not, and if it is, it has a good reason, but otherwise, oh God, no. Don't do this.
My assumption is there's no good reason that it's Brian Michael Bendis being Bendis, but that is not the only information that we have coming out of Future State into Infinite Frontier. Obviously, DC's big initiative that's coming out in March. We have a new Mr. Miracle series coming from Brandon Easton. Obviously, we have seen this new Mr. Miracle, Shiloh Norman, in the pages of Future State Superman of Metropolis and Future State Superman Worlds of War. Apparently, he's going to be like some type of Las Vegas performer. I don't know. Is it time for a new Mr. Miracle? Because it feels like that character, the original, hasn't been worn out yet.
After what they did to Mr. Miracle, I just can't. No, it's.
So you're talking about the Tom King miniseries?
Yeah, where he just where he lost his will to live and he just killed himself. It's absolutely detestable. And I know that another one, the comic book media loved it. The comic book media told him how wonderful and awesome he was, and and the fans all recoiled in horror, because they loved this character, and look what he did to it.
Well, I hope they aren't too in love with that character. Like I said, we are getting a new Mr. Miracle, Shiloh Norman, I don't know that this is a necessary thing. Of all the characters really to break out of Future State and get their own series afterwards in Infinite Frontier, Wonder Woman makes sense. Yara Flor has some interest in the character. The next Batman, obviously, it's a new Batman. That's a character that feels like it probably, we kind of knew that was going to happen to begin with. But this new Shiloh Norman character, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't see people clamoring for this. And I'll be honest, Brandon Easton's pitch on what this comic book is going to be about isn't very exciting. Apparently, he's going to be he's going to be like a circus performer or like a magician. And he's whatever. But this is kind of the big thing. I imagine this is really what the comic book is about. This being what Brandon Easton talks about. We'll also dive into what it means to be a black superhero in a world where his heroism is in conflict with the society full of distrust and suspicion. Doesn't really fit, the kind of the apocalypse setting and what Mr. Miracle stands for.
Right. It's just like Scott Free is, he's the guy that, he's kind of a lot like Wally West in some ways. He hopes even to the point to where hope is gone. Gone, he still hopes. Look how he grew up. Look who he grew up with. He was, bound on apocalypse for so long, centuries, I guess. And being basically, I guess, abused. Would you say?
Yes.
Constantly, locked into certain boxes and stuff like that, and he had to figure his way to get out and all that. But to what? Being a Vegas show performer?
I don't understand what I guess this is going to be a soft reboot of the character. Doesn't really make sense. Doesn't fit probably what Jack Kirby had in mind when he created Mr. Miracle or the New Gods.
No.
And it feels like there's so much meat on the bone left to explore with Scott Free that I don't know why you need a new version of the character. Oh. And if you had this, doesn't seem associated with anything that the characters ever stood before. If you want to explore these kind of racial issues with the DC character, there are other characters that are there that probably warrant more usage, and you could do that with. It doesn't seem to fit this character particularly.
I'm kind of curious, where they're going with that and why they felt the need to change that character in particular. They're not listening. They're not listening to their salespeople. They're not listening to their customers. And, I think this is just more of DC, circling the drain.
Yeah, it feels like they're missing the mark. Obviously, there are some things that have been announced for Infinite Frontier that are exciting. Obviously, Ram V and Mike Perkins on this new Swamp Thing. Absolutely exciting, especially with what we just saw. Tom Taylor on Nightwing. I'm excited for that. It feels like he's a new man over at DC Comics. Obviously, this new Joker series, I think people will enjoy that. I'm not really interested in Punchline, so we'll see how that goes. But we also have this Dark Knight, Batman the Dark Knight. Kind of sounds pretty cool for a miniseries, but a lot of this stuff is just like, I don't know, man. This sounds feels like they're taking steps back.
They're definitely taking steps
trimming
back.
The line to improve the product and maybe improve the stories with the characters, and it feels like it's continuing to be watered down. Do you think this is an effect with all of the editorial staff leaving? We know we just heard from Cy Spurrier on some of his comments. I'm going to be talking to Aaron Sparrow about that tomorrow, I believe.
It's shocking. I think you're right. With a lot of the key editorial leaving right now, you've got, the nuts running the nut house. That's the only thing that kept certain creators, in check, was that DC's editorial would just kind of clamp down on them and not let them get their way like Marvel would. And I'm hoping that, this isn't going to be a sign of things to come. But unfortunately, what else can we think with ideas this bad? Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm hoping beyond hope that this Shazadam rumor is just that. It's just somebody playing a prank. Maybe Brian Michael Bendis wanted to pull a fast one on the industry and put out this stupid rumor about, maybe he knew what he was doing wasn't exciting. He said, what can I do to subvert expectations where when I actually execute it, they'll say it's good. maybe if I say I'm changing Black Adam to Shazadam, people will accept whatever I do because it can never be that bad.
Yeah, maybe that's it. They're just he's trying to shock everybody into at least looking at it, and so they can pan it. And
Yeah.
maybe they might decide that, hey, this isn't as bad as I thought
He's
it would
trying
be.
to
No.
lower expectations to such a
Yeah.
low degree that he can't help but exceed them.
Right. It's like we got speed bump level expectations here, and he still stumbles every single fucking time.
Yeah, he's well past his prime, and I do not see this Brandon Easton, Shiloh Norman, Mr. Miracle series going anywhere substantial. It's going to be a mini series. I imagine sales will be not robust.
And I love the New Gods. I love the New Gods. I love Kirby's work on DC. I loved Apocalypse. I love the idea of that New Genesis. I'm a big fan of Mr. Miracle, and this is just like a punch in the balls. It's like where do they come up with this? This is stupid. I just no, don't do that.
You can't make this stuff up, people. It looks. We shall see, obviously, when Infinite Frontier finally gets here. But there obviously are going to be some high points. There are going to be some duds. I think these two are probably going to be duds. And I'll be honest with you, even though I hope Shazadam isn't real, I think it probably is.
Yeah, it probably is. And for everybody to kind of, maybe keep an open eye that maybe he'll do something cool like I was talking about before. But don't hope for anything good if this is what we're getting. It's, no.
Hopefully there are better days ahead for DC Comics. Not the most exciting news, but I do have some Batman news I'm going to be talking about later in today. Should be more exciting. Hopefully people get more excited about that, but this has been a downer.
Yeah, that I think I know what you're talking about. That might be pretty cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think people will enjoy that, but sorry folks, this sounds like it sucks ass.
Yeah, lots of ass. Big bird of ass.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.